You're looking at a place most people would never stop for. Flat, dry, silent, a landscape that feels empty before you even step into it. No trees, no water, no movement, just heat, dust, and scattered rock. And yet, some of the richest gold discoveries in the United States have come from environments that look exactly like this. So let me ask you something honestly. If you were standing here right now, would you even slow down? Or would your brain already decide, there's nothing here? Because that single assumption has caused more missed gold than anything else. And today, we're going to break that assumption completely. Not with guesses, not with myths, but by understanding the science behind what this desert is actually doing. Because once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Take a step forward in your mind. Feel the ground under your feet. Loose, uneven, slightly shifting with every step. That surface didn't just appear like this. Every grain, every fragment, every crack is part of a long process that started deep underground, long before this desert even existed. Because Nevada was never always a desert. Millions of years ago, this land was alive with geological activity, volcanic systems, tectonic pressure, heat moving through rock, and most importantly, mineral-rich fluids traveling through fractures below the surface. Now think about that. Fluids moving through rock. Not water like you see today, but hot, mineral-loaded solutions carrying dissolved elements, including gold. These fluids didn't move randomly. They followed weaknesses in the earth, cracks, fault lines, fractures, and as they moved, they deposited minerals, layer by layer, slowly building veins inside rock. Gold didn't form as nuggets first. It formed as part of a system, locked inside quartz, mixed with other minerals, hidden in structures no one could see from above. Now here's where the real story begins. Because forming gold is only half the process, the other half is exposing it. And that's where this desert becomes important. Look around again. Notice how little is covering the ground. No thick soil, no dense vegetation, no layers hiding what's beneath. That's not a coincidence. That's a condition. And it changes everything. Because in environments with heavy vegetation, minerals stay buried longer, protected, hidden. But in deserts like Nevada, the surface is constantly being stripped away. Not violently, not all at once, but continuously. Wind removes fine particles. Temperature changes crack rock. Rare rainfall washes away loose material. Every small action removes a layer. And every layer removed brings something older closer to the surface. Let me ask you something. If you kept removing layers from the ground, what would eventually happen? Exactly. You would reach the material that was once buried deep. And if gold existed in that material, it would now be closer to you than ever before. This is natural exposure. And it's happening all the time. But here's where most people still get it wrong. They expect gold to reveal itself clearly, bright, obvious, easy to recognize. But nature doesn't work that way. When gold is first exposed, it doesn't announce itself. It blends in. It hides inside rock fragments. It sits quietly among thousands of similar-looking pieces. And unless you know what to look for, you won't see it. Let me challenge you. Imagine you're scanning the ground. Hundreds of rocks, different sizes, different colors. Nothing stands out immediately. Where do you even begin? Most people look for shine. That's the mistake. Because natural gold especially in raw environments, often doesn't shine the way people expect. Instead, you look for difference. Anything that breaks the pattern. A rock that feels heavier. A color that doesn't match. A texture that seems slightly unusual. Those are your signals, not confirmation, but direction. Now let's go deeper into how the desert organizes materials, because this is where science becomes advantage. Every time wind moves across this land, it removes lighter particles, dust, fine sand, organic material, but heavier materials stay behind. They resist movement, they settle, they concentrate. Gold is one of the heaviest natural elements. So, when the environment starts sorting materials, gold behaves differently. It doesn't travel far. It doesn't scatter easily. It stays close to where it was released. This creates natural concentration zones, places where gold is more likely to remain. Not because it was placed there, but because everything else was removed. Now think carefully. Would you rather search where everything is mixed together, or where nature has already done the sorting for you? That's the difference between random searching and understanding the process. Let's bring this back to Nevada specifically. This region is known for its gold deposits, not just because gold exists here, but because the conditions allow it to be exposed. Old rock formations, tectonic history, mineral-rich systems, combined with a climate that removes cover instead of adding it. That combination is rare and powerful because it means the land is actively revealing its own resources, without digging, without machines, just through time. Now imagine walking along a dry hillside, loose material shifting under your feet, fragments of rock scattered everywhere, some small, some large. Nothing immediately obvious. But then you notice something. A section of rock that looks slightly different. Maybe it has a lighter color. Maybe you see quartz running through it. Maybe there's a faint reddish stain. Would you stop? Or would you assume it's just another rock? Because that moment is where awareness matters. Quartz is one of the most common hosts for gold. Iron staining indicates past mineral movement. Fractures suggest pathways where fluids once traveled. These are not random features. They are evidence. And when you start connecting them, the landscape begins to make sense. Let me ask you again. If gold traveled through fluids, and those fluids moved through fractures, where should you be paying attention? Exactly. Not everywhere, but specific structures, specific zones, specific patterns. This is how experienced observers think. They don't chase gold directly. They follow the system that created it. Now let's talk about something most people completely overlook. Time. Not human time. Geological time. Because everything you're seeing here has been developing for millions of years. Every crack, every slope, every exposed surface is the result of slow, continuous change. And that means something important. The desert is not finished. It's still working. Right now, at this moment. Somewhere in Nevada, a rock is breaking apart. A surface is being cleared. A fragment is being exposed. And inside that fragment, there could be gold. Not because it suddenly appeared, but because the process finally revealed it. So the real question isn't, where is the gold? The real question is, where is the earth currently revealing it? That shift in thinking changes everything. Because now, you're not chasing luck. You're observing process. And process can be understood. Let's go even further. Imagine returning to the same location multiple times. At first, nothing stands out, but after a storm, the surface changes. After strong wind, fine material disappears. After temperature shifts, new cracks appear. Each visit shows something slightly different. Because exposure is ongoing, this is why experienced prospectors revisit areas, not because they failed before, but because conditions change. And when conditions change, new material appears. Now, let me ask you something personal. If you walked through a place once and found nothing, would you come back? Most people wouldn't. And that's exactly why they miss what comes next. Because the desert doesn't reveal everything at once. It reveals things gradually, and only to those who are patient enough to notice. Now think about everything you've seen so far. Gold forms deep underground. It moves through fluids. It becomes locked in rock. Time breaks that rock apart. The desert removes what's unnecessary, and what remains is what resists. Gold. So when you look at a Nevada desert now, you're not looking at emptiness. You're looking at a system. A slow, powerful system that has been working for millions of years to reveal something valuable. And here's the truth most people never realize. Gold isn't rare in the way people think. What's rare is the ability to recognize it in its natural state. So the next time you see a landscape like this, don't ask, "Is there gold here?" Ask, "What is this land revealing right now?" Because once you start asking that question, you stop walking past opportunities and start seeing them. And here's something even more surprising. Some of the most valuable rocks in the United States don't just contain gold. They contain minerals that most people would never recognize at all. In the next video, you're going to see one of those rocks up close and understand why it gets ignored almost every time. So tell me honestly, if you were standing in this Nevada desert, would you stop and look closer? Or would you walk right past it?